Mike from IRIEspect. I want to welcome you to Lionheart Music Festival Conversations. How's everything going?
Great. Thank you for having us.
All right, man. And first question I want to have is that please explain how you guys linked up with Dub Shot Records.
Sure. So Mannix and I go back a while. He's originally from Long Island, Queens. So we go back. The story kind of starts with one of my first bands, the RBC. I worked with him circa 2006 to 2014 with my previous band, the RBC. We were signed. We were signed to Dubshot as well, and I met Mannix then, just through Reggae, the niche in New York. We hit it off, and we've kept in touch ever since. I consider him a close friend of mine as well, and I value his opinion a lot. And I'm grateful that we're on the same team here. So
So, all right, for those who are unaware, you are a veteran in this game, right? You just mentioned that you had
right,
a previous band. Uh,
right.
in regards to managing a band, keeping a band together, switching bands, what do you think is the key part to keeping a band together in
Hmm.
these modern times?
Great question. I'm a big believer in just good communication. I feel with good communication, anything and everything can be achieved. So it's really just having a good open line of communication with all your guys. And obviously it takes a lot of personalizing too. There's that time you have to put in on that in that sense. But that's what translates the best and the furthest, in terms of having a good camaraderie, having a good work relationship, getting the most and the best out of everyone. Um, and that's a big thing that I believe in, when it comes to just managing everyone. We're a seven-piece band as well, too, right? So a lot of moving parts, a lot of different personalities, and really the best way to kind of just keeping everything together is just good communication and reaching out and personalizing and just making sure everyone's on the same page as much as you can.
All right, you've been on the stage with some of the biggest names and greatest names on all aspects of reggae, right? Whether it's Long Beach All Stars, Whalers, Still Pulse, Stick Figures, whoever. Which band did you learn the most from after observing how they worked, not only on stage but off of stage?
Hmm. Uh, let's see. Great question. I'd have to say, like, probably our shows with Steel Pulse were pretty influential on me, and probably the band as well. I can speak for everyone. Um, we got to play a highlight show with them at the end of the year at Brooklyn Bowl, New York, and it was a sold out show. Uh, there were like over 1,000 people there, and it was just probably like just a real high for all of us. It was like everything at a high level. So it was really it was a big learning experience for us, and just a great experience overall because just working with such a pinnacle band like Steel Pulse, sharing a stage, just us and them, and playing to that that full crowd, and just kind of seeing how they conduct themselves before, during, and after. You're seeing them just like warming up in the background, sound checking, and making sure everything's okay. Like, these are artists who are OGs, and they still humble you in the sense where how they just approach everything, and then how they handle it as well. So I would definitely say probably our experience with Steel Pulse was definitely an eye-opening experience for us, for sure.
All right, you're from East Coast. You're from Long Island, right?
That's right.
If
Yep.
someone were to close their eyes and listen to you, they would think they're in Cali. Did
That's
you live
right.
in Cali at the time? Like, what's going on here? How did you get that energy? How did you get that sound?
uh, yeah, great question. A lot of people ask us that. It definitely is not what you're used to around these parts. So we are Long Islanders through and through. This New York City is very close to us, and Brooklyn as well, and we consider that our home market as well. But it's definitely different, because yeah, like what you said, you hit the nail on the head. Reggae is not something that's super popular around here. So we kind of stick out different in a good way. We're unicorns out here, kind of setting the standard. And our influences, going back to my background with RBC, we were also reggae dub then. I was studying the genre then. That was early 2000s. So I kind of just passed the baton on with our new project now with IRIEspect, and kind of keeping that same sound evolve, going, but evolved. And we really do, we're really different. I mean, there's not too much of what we do out here. I mean, Cali is a big influence on us. The bands from Florida are a big influence on us. I mean, we've been fans of Slightly Stupid for forever, and Sublime, and it's all West Coast stuff, but it's been very influential on us and our music, even though out here on New York and Long Island. And you're also subject to lots of other things. I mean, there's just so much competition out here and so many forms of music between, cover music and DJs, and, that you can get, caught up in a lot of that stuff. And we just stay focused and just, keep the eye on the prize in terms of pursuing our reggae dreams.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. You're a drummer, right?
Yep, I'm the drummer. I'm
All
holding the,
right.
I'm holding the beat.
What reggae drummers have influenced your style of drumming?
Um, so first off, obviously Bud Gore from Sublime was a huge influence on me growing up. I probably played to almost every Sublime song, for the most part. I mean, just a huge influence on my style. That's probably what started it for me. But to follow that up, for sure, Rhymo from Slightly Stupid is a huge influence on me as well. And I kind of emulate myself, I feel, more around his style even than Bud's. But while Bud was influential for me, I say someone more like Rhymo of Stupid is kind of more my style that I'm trying to emulate and who I look up to the most. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's so many great drummers in our niche. I mean, West and Revolution is just incredible. Officer and Stick is just incredible. And their influences on me as well, and their style. It's almost like a keep it simple, less is more, but also still very um, tasteful fills and other things as well that still kind of hit you in the right spots. You just right, and not too much ketchup on the French fry, I like to say. So. But it's that less is more drum style approach, but still just being that force, that backbone. It's the drums and bass are the driving force in reggae music, and it's so important that those tempos and all that is just locked in. And those drummers are the ones that help me and influence me to go down that route. So,
And people are unaware of this, of the ska scene that's still prevalent in New York, right?
oh yeah, for
How
sure, Sky's
how
big.
much of that has influenced you, your band, previous band, and your approach to music?
Well, I would say Sky is definitely a huge influence on us. Essentially, dub music kind of took that and slowed it down, right? So it's still a root of what we do and a big part of what we do. Bands like the Scottlights, all those are huge influences on us. Um, and it is prevalent. Like I see it more in Brooklyn, I would say. But those ska shows are important. Like if we can get on them because it's a big crossover with our music, just almost like jam band music and reggae, same as ska. And there's a good crossover and bleed there, so you can reach further audiences with your music, and that's the goal with us too. We're pretty versatile, so we really want to try and tap into a lot of those different sub niches, if you will, that are attached to the reggae music. So. But yeah, Scott's big, punk is big around here. And all those are very influential, in what we do. And those fans love what we do too. It all comes together.
All
So
right. So the album you released, correct me if I'm wrong, 2024 with Dubshot, right? I respect.
right, yeah, we did release a full length LP last summer. It's still, it's out everywhere, iTunes, Apple, the whole nine. 12 songs, all original music. It's a great taste of who we are and what we do and the versatility. But we are releasing a new EP later this fall. We're going to be doing what's called a waterfall release, where we're going to release one single at a time till all five are released, and then at that point, the full EP will be available for people as well. And it's going to bring our music to the next level. The LP is amazing, but this EP is like that next step for us in the maturing of our sound, and our lineup. On the LP, we were kind of like a 5 to 6 piece, but on the EP, we're our full now new 7 piece with multiple vocalists, and as versatile as it's ever been, in my opinion. So I'm really excited to get the new EP out and the same songs out so people can hear, kind of how far we've come along, the maturation process to our, evolvement in our sound, and just to get it out in the universe because people, they're gonna see a big jump from the last album to this one, and I'm excited to get it out there.
All right, cool, man. And what can the attendees at Lionheart Music Fest expect from IRIEspect?
Well, for sure, good energy. I mean, that's it seems to be, it's part of our set. I mean, that live energy is just so incredible sometimes, and then that connection between, us and the fans and feeling that energy go back and forth. We play off it, they play off it. I think that's probably that's what I feel we leave with our fans the most is just that really genuine live experience that might be a little different, say, than the next reggae band. And that's what we hope to achieve with Lionheart. And we can win over some great reggae fans, just with that connection of energy. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
And last thing before you leave, you've been doing live performances for a very long time, right?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you still growing your craft. What do you think is the key for a young? This is for a young person listening now, in regards to keeping the crowd engaged and also winning over fans that don't know you.
Right. It's a great question. In fact, it's a good example. We just performed last night in Portchester, New York, at the famous Garcia's at the Capitol Theater, and I met a couple after the show. We were talking for a while. They're actually from Florida, but they were on vacation here in New York. They were just in Manhattan, and they just took a chance. Like, oh, let's go to Portchester. This looks like a cool show. Let's go. And they had an amazing time. Like they you could tell how genuine they were and how much they loved it. And what I'm getting at is that one of them said, "I'm a reggae fan. I loved you," and the other guy said, "I know nothing about reggae and I loved you." So, I think it's very important. You want to obviously win over the reggae fans. That should be the easiest and the first priority. But like, it's so important that you reach people who don't know you yet and you win them over. And I mean, you got to have good music. Obviously, product is everything. But at the same time, it's personality too and energy. And I feel like if you can do that in a versatile way, like you're gonna touch everyone's taste buds at some point. Like there's just no way to get around it because we're just touching so many different genres and emotions and feels and energies, right? That like it's gonna connect. And also that like kind of connection in terms of just personalizing with the fans, a lot of, bantering on the mic where, you're kind of like connecting with them and they're feeding off that, right? So all those little things that you're winning them over with is what you hope going to be the ammo to, making, new fans and as well as, making current reggae fans. So
Well, Mike, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Definitely looking
thank you. Great questions.
forward.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Hold
Hey,
on.
take care. We'll see
Hold
you soon. Peace.
on.